My parents hated me. Not like they said that out loud, but being the middle child, I felt it. I was, anyway, not a planned kid. And that was thrown at my face quite a few times. I was ignored, yelled at, and so on. No matter what happened in the family, it would be my fault. Even when my younger sister or elder brother would do anything, my parents would just assume that I did it. Didn't even bother to ask. They would straight up ground me. My siblings saw how this would play out, and although we were all kids, everyone could feel when something was benefiting them. So, with time, as I grew up, they would also blame me. I don't know what I did to deserve any of this. Maybe because my parents were rich when they had my brother, but broke when they had me. Some business loss? I don't know. It was difficult for them to raise two kids. After around 6 years, they came back to their former glory and had another kid. I mean, that's what my mom would tell me. As a kid, I never got anything that I wanted because we had no money. We really didn't. But my brother would get whatever he wanted. Somehow my parents would figure out a way. Even after they became rich again, there were loads of gifts for my siblings, but whenever I asked for basics, they would say that there's no money and I should not be ungrateful. Ungrateful? Anyway, as you can figure it, the typical black sheep middle kid. Plus, I was ugly as a kid. My mom said that so many times that it got set in my mind. They were not too happy to take me with them to any event or party. My childhood was bad, and no one was there for me, not even my siblings. This went on for a while, and by a while, I mean my entire life, at least till I moved out. I went to community college because a private college would be too much of an expense. My siblings went to private colleges. Once I was done, I started continuing to work as an assistant for my professor, something I had started in my final year to earn something as well. From there, I got a good recommendation and finally ended up in a publishing agency. Work life was drama free because no drama would compare to what my family had already done to me. And the money was good. I was living by myself, made a few friends. Life was sort of coming back on a good track. Then I met this guy, the brother of a former client of my firm. Dude was rich and snobby, but I didn't see his snobby side until I was married to him. He treated me like a princess throughout the relationship period. It was too much too soon, but I enjoyed the love, care, and attention. But that didn't last. My family got involved when they heard of him as he was rich and they started bonding with him. As they had never shown any interest in my life, I felt good about this. But as my marriage came to a rocky end, my family supported my ex instead of me. They behaved like he was their son and I was the daughter-in-law. They called me toxic, stupid, crazy, psychotic, and whatnot. All because I wanted to end a marriage which had no meaning left anymore. He used to drink, swear, and never listen to a single thing I said. It was an issue and we had no love left anyway. But my family didn't try to see things from my side. I sort of understand that they were only interested in my ex because of his money, and it was never about me, so I didn't go into more arguments. After I got divorced, things changed. I used to feel sad and lonely, and my family would be on vacation with my ex, posting pics and enjoying life. Made me feel like throwing up. My parents cared more about a random stranger they met a couple of years ago than their daughter. But I still kept quiet. My sister's habit of posting almost everything over social media in the form of vlogs was how I would know all these. And I would try to not watch, but end up watching them anyway. So this went on and on and on. After a few months, I got to know that my dad was investing in my ex's business, and my sister posted it with the caption, New Beginnings. I was still silent. Then I decided that it was high time for me to focus on myself instead of stupidly watching them. And that's what I did. At least that's what I was trying to do until my parents showed up at my door crying because my ex-husband spent all their savings money away on alcohol and drugs. All their savings were wiped out, and somehow they came to me because it was my fault. How is it my fault? Does this make any sense to you? I was not even there. They didn't even ask me anything before handing this man their entire savings. How can any of it be on me? I was initially feeling out of place because my mom and dad coming to my place was shocking as hell anyway. Plus, they were crying. Now, I had no idea about him being an addict. I knew him to be a drunkard, but this was new information. But what could I say? I would still sympathize, but the moment they said that it's all on me and I'm the reason for everything, I just snapped. And they said that I brought him into their lives. They knew him through me. But dude, I did not. That's the thing. You guys came into my life all of a sudden. I didn't call you, and most definitely didn't tell you to go on vacation with a guy who happens to be the ex of your daughter. I'm so done. I don't want to even listen to them anymore. I made them leave, but they're blowing up my phone. What do I do? Update 1. No, make it seem like it has any sense, guys. My family wants me to give them back their savings. They don't care how or why. They just want the money, and I am their target. Of course, my ex was arrested as he had drugs, but he is anyway broke. I don't know what will happen to him, and I don't care. I don't even want to know. But my family needs to leave me alone. Every day I get these texts from someone or the other of my family asking me when I'll return the money. Return what, dude? This is crazy. My sister came over yesterday being all dramatic and saying how she was going to get married in a couple of months, and as the savings are gone, I should hurry up with the money. So get this straight. My sis is getting married and I was not even told. They want me to pay for the wedding and other things, and if that wasn't enough, they wanted me to hurry up. How much entitlement is this? I told them that I was not going to pay anything, but they don't want to hear it at all. What is this? I don't even know how I got stuck in this. Update 2. Hey guys, things happen. Let's say that it started with my dad yelling at me badly, loudly, and in front of all my neighbors who had no idea about what was going on, so most of them would obviously think that I did something. Basically, my family kept on asking me to hurry until they realized that I was serious about not helping them. Mom assumed that it was because I was broke. She said that I should pay in installments if that's easier. So I told her that I was not broke at all and had more money than she could imagine because I saved for a long time. But none of that was going for them, not a single penny. At this, Dad came over and banged at my door. He yelled and broke a few of my plants and pots by kicking them roughly. I asked him to stop, but he kept on going. I did not want to, but I had to call the cops. But I didn't want to. I warned him, but he didn't listen. Even after a while, the neighbors tried to stop him. He threw the chairs, kept outside, and was probably going to break the mini table as well when the cops came in. They took him away as he kept on cussing loudly. Later, Mom called me to come down to the station and get Dad out, but I didn't. So she started crying and begging. I figured that she would continue until I did what she wanted, but if I gave in once, she would try to make me give in every time, so I stood my ground. It went to court and a bail amount was set. It wasn't that big of a deal, but my family made it like one. They definitely understood that now there's zero chance of even asking me about paying. So yeah, they have not bothered me after that, at least not till now, and it's been 3 weeks. Update 3. Riding after a month, things have cooled down. My sis did call me once asking if I would not help as she needed a lot of diamonds and couldn't afford anything at the moment. It was funny because she's really dumb. As a response, I blocked her and everyone else, living my boring, plain, and drama-free life again, and I love being like this rather than that. I have no news of my ex. I could know if I wanted to, but not interested in that mud again. The same goes for my family. Don't know how they're managing and don't care. Nope, that's it. Signing off. NTA, I'm proud of you. Would call you the AH if you helped them. I was screaming that no, no, please don't help them. They leech. Exactly. They would just look for an opening. Once you gave in, they will emotionally drain you into helping them. My God, hate it. NTA, oh damn, just middle child things, but gone too far. Your family is the most toxic group of people to ever exist together. Don't really know how they're living together. Good job on not giving in, and your sis might just be the dumbest of the lot. LOL. Next story. I would like to preface by saying that I don't believe I live in an abusive household. I have my basic needs taken care of, and my parents don't hit me or tell me extremely demoralizing things. I would characterize my relationship with my family as distant. My mom is one of those annoying parents that airs out her grievances nonstop. She had constantly been nagging me about how bad and blemished my skin is, how much acne and how many red marks I have, etc. Just in general. Whenever I converse with her, which is not that often because, again, my family isn't close, she has to fit in some complaint. One day, we were about to go for a dentist checkup, waiting for the car to warm up. She decided it was the ideal time to complain. She started moaning about how the doctors at that quack office messed up my teeth and that she shouldn't have shelled out $2,000 for braces. A few seconds later, she looked in the car mirror, made an annoying clicking sound with her mouth, and told me that my skin looked like ass. That infuriated me. I flipped her off because I was freaking tired of all her nagging. In return, she got mad and canceled the doctor's appointment. We had a shouting match inside the house. Long story short, I told her in order to stop her complaining about my ugly, pimple-ridden face, I wouldn't be speaking to her. On top of that, I'd wear a mask inside the house whenever she's home. FYI, I do take care of my skin. I wash my face with cleanser and all that skincare jazz, and it does help me. However, my mom tells me that using skincare products will do nothing for me, and they're actually harming my skin. I'm not taking hygiene tips from a person who washes their hair with scalding hot water daily and has straw on their scalp. Before this particular incident, I asked if she would like to take me to a dermatologist to fix my skin. Just like skincare products and my dentist, she didn't believe in the medical treatment of the certified skincare specialists. It's been 2 weeks. I haven't talked to her since the argument conspired, and I've stuck to my promise of wearing masks inside the house. Today, my dad asked me if I was going to continue hiding my face, but I can't lie. It's been way more peaceful this way, and I enjoy not interacting with her. AITA for not tolerating non-abusive but very annoying parental nagging? My parents don't hit me or tell me extremely demoralizing things. How is constantly complaining about your appearance and the money that they spend on your basic needs not extremely demoralizing? You deserve the doctor, dental care you need. You deserve to love yourself and the way you look. It is not okay for a parent to belittle or resent their child. NTA, your mom needs therapy. You don't deserve these comments. NTA, but despite what you think, it definitely sounds like you're in a mentally, emotionally abusive household. From your post, it sounds like you're still a teenager, so you can't run just yet. A doctor should definitely be able to give you a prescription for skincare products that may help you with your acne. It is an unfortunate fact of life that some people just have bad skin, and this is especially true for teenagers. Is your dad less critical of you? Is it possible that you can talk to him to get a doctor's appointment for your skin? Is there any other close relatives you can talk to about this and possibly take you to the doctor about this? Next story. I, bride, 25 female, and the groom, 30 male, are getting married in a couple of months. We are in agreement about this situation, but others in the wedding party think we are a-holes. Context. Groom has 3 siblings that are all female. The oldest sister, OS, is married to an a-hole, and they are always on the verge of splitting up, but have stayed together so far because they have 2 kids. We sent out wedding invites early, 6 months out, as many of our guests needed to make travel arrangements to attend. OS does not. We sent an invite to OS and her family addressed the last name family to make it clear that OS, her husband, and kids were all invited. The issue. OS and her husband have since separated, and she now has a new boyfriend. She has assumed that she still has a +1 to invite her new boyfriend. We don't want him there, as we have never met him. The whole situation makes us uncomfortable, and it doesn't fit any of our decided criteria for a +1. Married, engaged, been dating 1+ year, or bridegroom has met them. Not only have we not met him, but groom's OS parents haven't met him. Groom's other sisters just met him yesterday. It sounds like OS and her kids are planning on moving in with a new boyfriend. We asked the younger sister, best woman, to let OS know that new boyfriend is not invited. She thought it was rude of us to say, and it's like we're taking away her +1. To us, we didn't invite SO +3, we invited the family. Now that family has one less person in it. Are we the a-holes? Edit. The reason we have not talked to OS about this is because she has not told us she has a boyfriend. We only found out through the grapevine. She also hasn't answered any of Groom's calls for the past 2 weeks. Opinion 1. Your sister-in-law didn't have a +1. The family unit was invited. The husband was on the invitation. She had no intention of telling you about this boyfriend, and by the sounds of it, actively avoided any discussion by ignoring attempted contact. If she wanted him to be her date to the wedding, she should have spent this time setting up lunch or dinner dates with you and your fiancé so that the 2 of you and the rest of the family potentially could grow comfortable with him. They chose not to do that. If she is making 0 efforts into helping for him to become welcome in this scenario, then of course he shouldn't be invited. He was never invited, and honestly, she hasn't asked, and apparently is just assuming she gets special treatment. NTA. NTA, and I would do everything to make sure that OS knows about it. You can send a letter, email, text, leave a voicemail, send a letter registered delivery that requires a signature, and then start to ask other family members to find out why the hell OS is not responding to any forms of communication. And let them know that they do not have a +1, and anyone that shows up will be escorted off the premises. Good luck, OP, and congrats for the upcoming wedding. NTA for not wanting to invite a date, but your fiancé should be the one to deal with this. Do not push this off to anyone else, regardless of the problems with getting in touch with her, and especially now that your other sister-in-law has made it clear that she doesn't want to do this, doesn't agree with your decision. Your decision is fine, and it doesn't have to be a moral judgment, aka we are uncomfortable with the situation. And you can just stick to the rules you set out as who gets a +1. So your fiancé, the groom, needs to handle this. You say she hasn't told you she has a boyfriend yet, but also that she assumes she will be able to bring him and has a +1. Why do you assume this? I would assume that another family member passed that on to you, or you heard her say as much, but didn't raise the issue at the time. That's fine. But now is the time to stop playing a game of telephone and have your fiance just straight up ask her. If he can't get her on the phone, he can send a text. Hey, we're finalizing wedding details and have you down as coming with the kids and are assuming your husband isn't coming given the separation. So I have you down as X, her, and how many children she has. Just have him be honest. We heard you have a boyfriend and may want to bring him to the wedding, but that won't work for us. Give me a call when you get a chance. Stay tuned for more stories from our girl relationships.